Pace Morby is probably the most well-known real estate investing educator in the country. His community has over 27,000 people inside of it, and he's also been on TV. In this interview, I sit down with him for an hour and a half at least. We dig deep and we get into some unfiltered topics that we usually don't talk about, and he usually doesn't talk about it. So if you're ready to learn and get inspired and hear a conversation that could change your life, listen up, let's go. Oh, we good? I always say Keola moves from the paradise of the Pacific to the paradise of the Midwest, right?
That's right.
It is nice out here. You see a lot of people have, their homesteads, and people really actually have land out here, which is unlike Phoenix, Arizona. Like Jerry Norton, I thought was going to move. I thought he was going to move back to Phoenix after he was in Puerto Rico for his tax savings.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like best friends with him. We text all the time. All of a sudden, I see him on Instagram going, "Hey, I'm at my new house in Knoxville, Tennessee." And I'm like, "Bro, I thought you were looking in Arizona." He goes, "I can't find anything with acreage in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
The metro's taken up. I want 40 plus acres." And when you fly into St. Louis, you realize like a lot of people have land out here. Like it's not hard to get land out here. You can go put a nice little 20, 40, maybe even 100 acre homestead out here together.
And it would not be too far from anything. So Jamil's out at my house, but I'm like 5 minutes from a town called Wentzville that's like decent sized town, and you wouldn't know it at all. I'm not near anything. I don't have that 15 acres, but it's just you're out, kind of feel like you're out in the
We
country.
are so lucky to be Americans, dude. Like the fact that we have such a beautiful country.
Why does everyone want to leave then? Why does everyone want to leave then?
I don't know. I hope they do.
You know who my favorite version of you is?
What?
Your Twitter version. Just being like
yeah.
smart ass comments to people.
Yeah.
I'm similar to you. Don't want to do that on like some of the bigger
Yeah,
platforms.
you just do it on X. Yeah.
I see it. I love seeing your posts on X.
I just, maybe it was like the election that got me back on X. I was on Twitter like 5 years ago, but it wasn't really popular at the time. It was like popular for people who were authors and really well-spoken writers. But then I got off, and for some reason, the election, I was like, I got to get news. And X is the greatest source of information you can imagine.
Yes.
If I could turn off, like personally from a consumption standpoint, I would turn off all social media except for X.
Yep.
I go on there to actually read. I pay attention to what people are saying. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's really well laid out. And so I got back on there and just started talking smack to people.
I love it.
I'm like, this is fun.
Clown emojis. And
You're
everything.
on there too, which is great.
I am, yes.
There's not really a lot of real estate influencers that are on there.
I started a new account. I'm trying to experiment with it because I got up to like 50,000 on it, but I didn't buy anything. It was just people were retweeting my stuff. You'd pay for retweet here or there.
Yeah.
And then I started a brand new account, and I was getting the same impressions with like 50. So I'm like, so then these other ones aren't real. So it's 50,000. I don't even do anything with it anymore. I started from scratch. I'm at 200, but I'm just trying to grow from scratch.
It's just fun. And I think if you wanted to go on X, man, I could talk to you about my funnel and like everything I'm teaching my team right now. But I look at X. My team was like, hey, we have a webinar coming up on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's promote on X. And I go, we haven't provided any value on X to deserve to promote anything.
But your name and brain has provided value. I get what you're saying, but that's a difference. People that follow you on X probably follow you elsewhere.
Yeah, but I just look at that platform. I mean, I'm learning more and more about how to communicate. There's 18 platforms from what I've gathered. And they all need to be treated differently in order to communicate with whoever your target audience is, right? You've got things that people don't even think about. It's like you got Instagram, X. Okay, most people think, my social team, I have 3 girls. They don't post on any of my stuff because I've pulled them off.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know if we're recording, but
we are.
They will never watch this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. So you can say whatever you want.
I can say whatever I want. My partner's like,
Nobody's
dude, they're
gonna
gonna
listen to any of
quit.
this.
I'm like, bro, no. Real estate people are listening, but nobody on my social team is. They post things that just don't make sense, but mostly what they post is they post on Instagram because they think in their mind Instagram is social media. I'm like, no. Social media is a symphony of multiple instruments, and Instagram is the triangle that you ding every couple of minutes. It's the most fun for me to use, but if you're only hitting a triangle and a symphony, the music sounds stupid. You've got to have a YouTube channel. You've got to have podcasts. You've got to have Pinterest, believe it or not. Yep. Pinterest is a whole new thing that we're venturing into and just experimenting with, and our impressions are up like 14,000% just in the last 60 days. I hired a paralegal. I was like, I'm not going to hire anybody that thinks they know anything about social media. I'm going to hire a paralegal that is just militant about staying on schedule.
You need like a operations person to
Right.
manage your social media.
Right. And so we have 3 girls that are social media experts
Yep.
that we've hired over the last year. And I've
Those are bunny ears, right?
yeah,
Experts.
Yeah, experts. And then all they want to do is post on Instagram. I'm like, guys, that's not the symphony. The symphony is all of these other things. They're like, oh, well, that's really hard to do this stuff. I'm like, well, actually, no, it's not. Because what you do is you go to X and you go, hey, Grok, here's a YouTube video I made last week. Create a thread that walks through the 5 things that the user should, or the viewer should learn.
Mm-hmm.
And it will take my YouTube video and turn it into an amazing thread. You don't have to create new content. You just have to deliver it in a different way. And there's things to use. It's kind of like doing real estate. It's like people that are out there, sorry to say, knocking doors. I'm like, guys, knocking doors is so effective and it does work, but I'd rather not do that.
Correct.
It's just not as efficient as other methods. We're trying to grow our lending business right now. I know you guys have a great lending business here, amazing people. They've been helpful in my journey too, and so have you been. But I'm like, okay, well, let's start posting on social media to get new borrowers. And I'm like, wait. How about we just call borrowers who already borrowed money from people last month and see if we can fund their next deal? And my team goes, well, how do we get a hold of them? I'm like, click, 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 boom. All of the borrowers in town that have borrowed money are all on public record, showing exactly who they borrowed money from and at what rate.
Mm-hmm.
I can throw that whole entire CSV file into Grok or ChatGPT and go, hey, what is the average blended rate? What's the average blended time? What's the average da-da-da-da? And I don't have to do any research.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of people that are just not adopting AI the way they should, even in their real estate business. And you could be a one-man operation doing 20 flips a year if you're doing things the right way.
Shout out Gino. Yeah, I think so. There's a lot to unpack there. So let's talk about social media. Then I want to get into AI, and then we're going to talk about Musk and Trump and some fun things. So,
Okay.
Social media. Yeah. So you made a good point. So you have a 3-person team. So I am not as smart as you.
Mm-hmm.
The team is here. So I'm
The best team I ever had, Sam, is right
well,
here.
yes, but it's not sustainable or scalable. So I've focused for
Yeah.
like 4 years on social media, right? Like I have 3.5 million followers on social media. I always joke, and I'm not trying to pump your tires. Like I'm legitimately like Pace's brand, I would say is 50 times bigger than my brand, but I have more followers. So followers and brands are different. Like I'm realizing that, right?
Right.
So I've been in social media. I've got big on every platform, and they're all different. Like just for Instagram, for sake. There's a different algorithm for stories. There's a different algorithm for reels. There's a different, there's just so much that goes into it. So I'm working on hiring a team, but I think you made a good point is you're going to have to be able to deliver the same message, just different ways.
Yeah, what I would do, just as suggesting
I'm well for suggestions.
to my friend I would suggest that you continue to run your Instagram and you let that be the anchor of your social media. And then you hire one person and their job is to figure out how to make your Instagram content make sense on all the other platforms so you never have to go on there. So like LinkedIn is a really good one, right? LinkedIn brings a completely different type of person. So you go do a long form YouTube video. Well, what I'm doing, let's say long form YouTube video. I'll give you a good example.
Okay.
So right now I have this really fun thing I'm doing where I have a homeless lady I'm helping get off of the
love
streets.
that.
It's crazy. Like, first off,
Is that real or is that all made up?
it's like 100.
I'm
It's so
kidding. I know it's real. I'm
it's
kidding.
so real that like my videographer Eric, who I think you've met, Eric,
I have.
love him to death. I get an email from this lady named Mattie, and I didn't know it was a lady because Mattie. I thought it was a dude. Mattie normally would be like Maddy. So we're emailing back and forth. She's like, help me. But she's super positive. Like you could feel her vibration through the email. I'm like, okay, that's different. I know you get DMs. I know you get emails. I know you get people hitting you up. Sam, let me pick your brain. Like they're zombies.
Or a lot of, hey, can you give me money? I
Or
get
can you
that
give
all
me
the
money?
time.
Bro, I get Venmo requests.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Pay-
just pay me, bitch. You know, like that kind of stuff. Or like I'll get emails from people that are like, hey, I'm in desperate need for money to pay my rent. I'll pay you back, bro. You didn't even introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Your email is heavymetalclown69@gmail.com, and you don't even say, hi, my name is Tom. I need money. So, you and I both get this stuff all the time. But this will go into social media, but let me build this up so you understand. Because I want, as you watch this homeless lady content unfold over the next couple of months, I want you to understand what I'm doing with it.
Okay.
Whether it helps anybody here or not, I don't know, but it will definitely help you. So one of my big heroes coming into the real estate game was a guy named Robert Allen. And Robert Allen wrote a book called Nothing Down. And he was called out by the LA Times in the early 80s saying, Robert Allen is full of crap. He's a scam artist, and he should denounce his book and take it off the bookshelves. There's no way anybody could buy houses with no money down. It's not possible. You and I do it all day long, right? So he challenges the LA Times and says, in 72 hours, I can buy a piece of quality real estate with $100 in my pocket, nothing else. Put me in a random city and I'll show you. They challenge him. He flies out to LA Times, the building. They pair him up with a reporter. They fly him to San Francisco. And within 12 hours, he had 2 houses under contract. The reporter is just like, what the freak, right? It's a great long story. I could tell you for 30 minutes. It's one of my favorite stories of all time. I've told it so many times. 12 hours in, he's got 2 houses under contract, no money down. He was calling real estate agents and just saying, hey, my name's Robert Allen. I'm looking for a quality piece of real estate that I can put no money down. I'm new to town, would love to blah, 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 blah. He made a couple hundred calls from his hotel room. He was paying like $17 a night too, and he was just banging out phone calls. At 12-hour mark, gets 2 under contract. The reporter's just like, this is crazy. I'm going to call the LA Times and tell them to come pick us up. And Robert Allen says, bro, I got 54 more hours. And he went and bought 5 more houses.
Did he? So he got 7 houses?
Got 7 houses in a 72-hour time frame. He then, the LA Times put a thing on the newspaper saying, real estate investor challenges the Times and wins.
How about that for publicity? It's better than Dave Ramsey calling you a liar, but
that was good though.
But that's better.
That's way better. And at the time, like there wasn't a lot of media outlets. LA Times was, revered. 2 weeks later, he's opening for Tony Robbins, and he stayed on the Tony Robbins circuit for like 12 years. Became one of the most popular people on the planet. Anyway, so Robert Allen, then a couple years later, gets called out again. They go, dude, of course you could do it. You're Robert Allen. Of course you could do it. You're Sam Prim, right? You got all these millions of followers. You do all this stuff. So he went and wrote a book called The Challenge, where what he did is he went to St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow, what a market.
At the time, it was like crime capital of the world.
Okay.
It's not like that now. It's a lot better.
Now it's like Beverly Hills, pretty much.
It's pretty dope,
He's being nice this time. Last time you were dying.
It's really nice.
Are you playing mind tricks on me? Last time you were just dogging on St. Louis.
I was teasing, but
okay.
So he comes to St. Louis, and he writes a book where he takes 5. At the time, people would walk through the unemployment line physically to go grab a check from the government. He went up to people in line and was like, "Hey, my name is Robert Allen. I'm a dorky white dude, but I can make you a millionaire. Give me 90 days and you'll have $30,000 sitting in your account. I need 5 people." And it's like hundreds of people he's talking to. He gets 5 people, writes a book about it. But at the time, there was no technology that allowed you to see all the behind the scenes and what really happened. It was just documented through written word. Okay. So I'm super inspired by that because nothing's more fun than you getting your first deal, except helping somebody else get theirs.
First deal, yeah.
That's like heroin. You know this. And that's the heroin that never...
It's the good heroin.
It's the good heroin. It's the helper's high is what I call it.
Okay.
So when I got my first deal, it was like, nice little dose of heroin. I've never done drugs, not even drink a warm beer, a cold beer for that matter. I've never had anything.
We're going to sink some vodka in your drink tonight. That has vodka in it.
That has happened to me. People have put Southern Comfort in my Diet Coke. I had no idea what was going on.
That's not nice.
It wasn't nice. I was 19. I got punched in the face. It was a whole story. Anyway, so this inspiration is there of like, okay, well, I've helped myself to the point where you get bored of doing your own deals. Isn't that weird? You go, I hope one day I can figure this out. Next thing you know, you're like, I figured this out. Next thing you know, people start asking you questions. How did you figure that out? You help them, they do a deal. You're like, that was a better feeling than me ever getting any deal. And now I'm revived. I love real estate again. You've been through this.
Yeah.
And so you get through this. And so recently we got offered to renew our TV show on A&E.
Yeah, I think you turned it down, right?
Hell yeah, I turned it down. I absolutely turned it down. I just realized the machine was not really there to accomplish the dream I had of being on a TV show, which was, let me show the audience something that no fix and flip TV show has ever shown them, which is, where did the deal come from, bitches?
They just act like they're...
It's like the house just magically,
and most of them,
you know what I'm saying?
They look at 3 houses, they say which one, and they've already got them. It's already all done.
It made no sense to me. So I was like, once you got into business, I was like, Jamil and I need to show people where the houses came from. So we're like knocking doors on TV. After season 1 airs, you realize they cut all of that stuff out. They don't want any of it there. So we go through season 2 thinking they're going to change. We were griping. We even flew to New York to A&E headquarters to be like, we don't want to do a TV show with you if you're just going to take what we're doing and, cut it out. We feel like the audience deserves to get off the couch. And the answer I got from A&E was like, if they get off the couch, they can't watch the commercials. I was like, oh shit. I'm part of the machine.
You're part of the problem.
I'm part of the problem. So they come to us January last year, offer us 30 more episodes. I said, no, I want to do a TV show that's meaningful and actually does something, even if I have to self-produce it.
You've been talking about this for a little while.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, you talked a little bit about it.
And I was obsessed with this idea of going and, I had a brother that was homeless. We couldn't find him for a couple of years. He was my brother. I grew up. He's 1.5 years younger than me. So we were best friends, bunk mates, all that kind of stuff. But he met some really bad people, and he was in 8th grade, and he got into drugs. And when he was 21, we lost track of where he was. And I found him when he was 23. He got off drugs. Then this girl that was in his past came back in his life again, and she got him back onto drugs. A year later, he had hung himself.
Yeah, I remember.
So
I heard
I got this like heart where I'm like, the people that are going through a hard time.
You named your daughter after him, is that correct?
Yeah, my daughter's named after him. Yeah. Good memory, dude. Thank you. So I promise this all ties into social media.
You're good.
But you're my friend, so I want to catch you up to something cool I'm working on and something I'm experimenting with that mixes how do I impact the world, but also simultaneously be responsible as a business owner with hundreds of employees, which is where you're at, which is like, well, I have the power to go just do branding stuff all day long and bring money into the company, but I also want to go change the world, right? And I'm not changing the world by doing 3 flips a month.
Nope. You want to impact,
I want to impact, right? This is part of your impact, right? But you have a lot more power than that. You have the ability to domino effect to different countries. You just got to figure out as a business owner, which is where I'm at, how do I take my impact to a level that's even unbelievable to me? So the thought I had at the time was when we were leaving A&E, A&E introduced me to a producer named Jesse. Jesse is a guy that has multiple shows on HGTV. Has like 9 shows on Netflix, highly decorated producer. I get to talking to Jesse, and he goes, well, what is your dream, your vision? And I said, well, I want to show people that literally you could have nothing and get into this business and be making money within 3 days, like literally 3 days or even 3 hours for that matter. And he's like, what's the vision? I said, Jamil and I go to Skid Row or to downtown Utah.
Were you talking about doing this in Utah? Yeah. You were talking to the governor, I believe, right?
Sean Ray is the Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Really good friend of mine, yeah. So we get moving on this. And what ended up happening is Jesse, because the people did not exist yet, Jesse was like, I don't want 3 episodes of the show just be about you finding these people. So I think we should just go down to one person. And it started just cannibalizing down to being Jesse's idea, not my idea. And I'm like, I'm 40, bro. I just want to do what I want to do, right? So I took a pause, and then I went to the thing and I go, you know what I want to do? I want to just test myself. I want to go put myself on a park bench and see if I could build a business in 30 days that's worth $1 million, like starting from nothing, sleeping on job sites, whatever I got to do. And so my team was doing everything in their power to keep me from doing that. This is December of just 5 months ago. They're doing everything, putting things on my calendar that were keeping me from creating and planning and doing all these kind of things. And then I finally went to my partner. I was like, what gives, man? What's going on? I want to go do this thing. And he's like, that doesn't make the company any money. And you, as a partner of mine, Like, you want me to hold down the fort. I need you to bring money to the fort.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, okay, very logical, 100%. I want to go do this thing and inspire people, and go above. I want to keep what I have, but expand it. And I get this freaking email from this lady 2 months later. Mattie finds me. She sends me an email, super positive. I reply back. First question I ask, Mattie, what kind of drugs are you on?
Like, you say?
She came back and said, it's way worse than drugs. Like, I have bad mindset and I have a bad environment. And I'm no longer on drugs, but I have been on drugs, and I've been on the streets for 4 years, sleeping in park benches, like, you imagine somebody that has the mindset of, I'm willing to stay on the streets for 4 years. And you start making all these really bad assumptions about this person. And so what I did is, literally 3 days later, I go, I'm really busy, Mattie. Every day of my life is planned for a year in advance. Like, literally, I will sit down with my operators. I have 4. And I'll go, this is last week of the year. We go through my calendar. We plan everything out for the whole year. And I leave 1 day a week that I'm allowed to put things on there. But everybody else is like, how can we best use PACE as an instrument for the company?
Yep.
Right? So, even coming here today, it had to be in conjunction with something else I was already doing.
Yeah, because you were going to be on the East Coast and making your way back out. No, I understand.
So I'm planned out. I don't have time for Mattie. But Mattie's like, I live 1.5 miles away from you. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is amazing. Like, my brain starts racing. What if I could help this lady, and I could show the world that you can help somebody that's literally homeless get on their feet? And I said, all right, well, I'm going to go look at buying a modular home company. If you want to come with me, I'm going to LA. And my mind was, I'm going to document this 14-hour day. Pick her up at 7, drop her off at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm going to see if she has, like, any drugs or any, glitches in her,
Kind of like a
system.
tester to see
It was
if
a
it's worth
tester.
pursuing.
It was a tester. And so Eric that morning is like, we're doing what? I go, yeah, we're going to a shelter and we're picking this lady up. And he's like, do you know anything about her? I go, I know her name's Mattie.
And it's a girl.
It's a girl. I have no idea how old she is, what she looks like. I have no idea what ethnicity she is. I don't know if she's missing teeth. I literally had to call Mattie and go, hey, Mattie, I don't know anything about people living in shelters. I'm going to say something really rude, but can you make sure you shower, take care of yourself, get cleaned up? Because tomorrow you're going to go to a Sub 2 meetup with like 300 Sub 2 members in LA, and you're going to be talking to a lot of people. And she's like, absolutely. And she was super positive and didn't take it as any negative thing. I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Like, wasn't offended, not a victim mentality. How dare you say something to me like that? So I pick her up. She's this little 59-year-old black lady. And I got to hear her story. And her story is, she has 3 sons, haven't talked to her in years. She was a mother her whole life. So what does a mom her whole life not learn how to do?
Make money.
Make money. And not only that, you're behind on technology, you're taking care of these other kids, and then the husband you have is off selling drugs behind your back in order to he lives a whole different life that you're not even aware of. He dies in a gang shootout, basically. And then the drug dealer that he owes money to comes to your house and says, you owe me all this money, and I'm going to chase you down until you pay it off. So she runs across the country, and she goes from Connecticut to here to da-da-da-da-da, and finally finds herself in Arizona.
Well, now the drug dealer's going to find her because you're getting her all over the internet.
Well, this is now 4 years ago.
Okay. So
it's all been solved, apparently. So, and I'm still figuring out, is she lying about any of this stuff? I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's the thought on the social media side of things. So in order for me to make money from helping Mattie, how can I do that? How can I make sure that I create impact, which is what my natural desire and your natural desire is, Sam? It's one of the reasons why I love you, dude, is just a great friend. I got a freaking notary problem this morning, and you just put your whole team on it. And now all my stuff is solved.
There we go.
Right, you're just a freaking solid, amazing dude. So you're at the same point I'm at in my career, which is you've done so many cool things, but how can you expand who you are? It's not making the next banger tweet or the next unbelievable Instagram post. It's how do I do something and create a story? So I went to Mattie and I said, hey, Mattie, if you'll let me document every single conversation, every word, every single movement that we make in the same room, and give this away to people, I want to write a book. I want to do this. I want to do that. would you be okay with signing a media release? And she's like, dude, if my story can help other people become successful, then yes, here's the media release. And she's just game for everything. So what we've been doing is I go, all right, I'm going to write a book. And the book originally, this is an interesting thought about marketing and branding.
Okay.
The book was originally going to be called, this is like 2 weeks ago.
I was going to say, because
This is fresh.
what is yours? Wealth Without Cash is your big one.
Yeah,
right?
Wealth Without Cash is my big book. And
Okay.
that was 2 years ago that I launched that. And it just hit 150,000 copies sold, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool.
It's pretty good. So this book was going to be called From Shelter to Success. But from a marketing standpoint, I've learned, unfortunately, by getting kicked in the teeth, that whatever you put out there, you're going to attract. Meaning, if I'm talking about getting people out of shelters, what kind of client am I going to attract? And I'm 2 weeks into this book, and we're already designing it, and I'm like, I wake up like 1 o'clock in the morning going, oh my gosh, gotta change the name. So I changed the name of the book. The name of the book is 30 Days to Freedom.
Okay.
And I thought, everybody's in a 30-day prison. Everybody's in a 30-day prison. Their job, not their job, their mortgage, their cell phone, their car payment, their insurance, every little thing that they have is a 30-day cycle that keeps them in this prison over and over and over and over, and they can't break out. In fact, the certainty that their job gives them of a paycheck every 2 weeks is the reason why they keep themselves locked in. In fact, if you handed them the key, which you do and I do all the time on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, we hand the keys to them. They're like, but I don't know what it feels like outside of the cage, right? For people like you and me.
The fear gets to them.
It's the uncertainty. Literally, I have a mentor right now. His name's Chase Hughes. You guys should look him up. He's unbelievable. FBI, like PSYOP guy. And he talks about the psychology of why humans do or don't do certain things. And the amygdala controls all of your activities, and the amygdala hates one thing and one thing more than anything, and it's uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen here. In fact, it's why people stay with a bad boyfriend or a bad spouse, because the devil I know is better than the devil
That's
I
exactly
don't.
what I was going to say, yep.
And so that is people's 30-day prison. And so I named the book 30 Days to Freedom because of that. And then I introduced Mattie in the 3rd chapter. I don't make the book about Mattie. I make Mattie I build up here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you out of the 30-day cycle. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the steps we're going to take. Boom. Let me introduce a character that is real time. As I'm writing this book, the future chapters of this book will actually be written by her activities, which is that's never happened. Nobody's ever written a real estate book of like, let me help this person, and I cannot write the next chapter until this person does the thing I told them to do. Record it all. QR code in every single page so that you can watch the 30-minute video of me and Mattie talking about what I told her. So if you're a person that's very visual, you're going to go, this was amazing for me. I didn't want to read a stupid book. I wanted to see Pace do the thing on the whiteboard and then immediately grab the phone and show Mattie how to do the thing. And then I wanted a workbook
It's like a YouTube playlist almost in a book.
Literally inside of a book. So this is how you make money from it. Okay. Books don't make money. Did your book ever really make you any money? No, but it generates a lot of leads, which ultimately then do make money.
I think there's like some money in some KDP account that I haven't even pulled out.
There
from
you
my
go.
book. Not very much though.
There you go. Like even me, I co-authored that book with Bigger Pockets. We sold, let's say 150,000 copies. I probably have gotten a check for 10 grand. Like what? Books don't make money.
No.
What books do is they change people's life and they hold something tangible of yours in their home. And they're like, Sam Prim is in my house. He's a part of my life. So what they end up doing is they join your community, or they do business with you, or they sell you a deal, or they buy a deal from you, or whatever it is. Okay, that's pretty magnificent. So the book really, this is what I'm doing in the book. Every Friday I'm doing an update about Mattie leading up to a book launch. I will pre-sell the book. Probably I'm planning on selling about 20,000 copies of the book over the next 6 months when I do a 3-day launch, and I'll sell another 80,000 copies at that point. My plan is to sell 100,000 books before the end of this year. which I think is very possible. Bigger Pockets wouldn't allow me to promote the way that I would have wanted to promote.
You could. That's a lot. You can do that because didn't Cody sold a crap ton of hers before, like 20 or 30,000 though.
I sold probably 30% of her books for her.
Yeah, that's a great book. But no, I think you're doing it this way, and this is where you bring social media in. You're not just launching a book afterwards and doing a book tour. Your people are going to be invested
I'm
before
building
the
the
book.
story, right? So like my free Facebook group, which you're in, that free Facebook group, every Friday I do a Mattie update, gets 20,000, 30,000, viewers on it. And everybody's now DMing me and they're going, what's going on with Mattie? I haven't seen them. They're all like crack addicts, like wanting to know what's going on with Mattie. Yeah, heroin. So I'm building the suspense on my Facebook group, which is one of 18 social media platforms. That's not social media. It's one of the Instruments social media team.
The orchestra of social media.
It's the orchestra. So the free Facebook group, my Gator Facebook group, Sub 2 Facebook group, Top Tier TC Facebook group, my Mastermind Facebook group, like I'm communicating, but I'm telling the story through these Facebook groups in the morning time. And then I'm taking the comments and I'm going, that's what they liked. They didn't like that. That didn't hit as well as in that group. Okay, let me take that. And that helps actually craft the book, which is a lot of fun. So I'm gaining awareness while simultaneously doing market research. Then I'll go on Instagram stories. I'll go on Instagram Reels. I'll go on LinkedIn, X, all of these other platforms. And then starting in July, we'll actually start laying down one long form YouTube video every week explaining where we're at in the process. But by that time, the book will be 80% of the way done. In order to now I'm pushing to pre-orders, right? Pre-orders are going to the to a landing page. That landing page, what you get with the book is I'll sell the book for $20, and with that book you get all of the video content that I give to Mattie, step by step by step by step. Every conversation, every word, every text message, every little behind the scene thing is probably going to be 300 hours of video content that nobody's ever going to watch. But knowing that you have something that is undeniably valuable will allow me to pre-sell the book, right? And so I'll continue to do. Before I even get to launch, I will have already sold 20,000 books. I then hired a publisher that will help me go do a 3-day launch. So I'm texting Tony Robbins yesterday and Dean Graziosi and Cody Sanchez and saying, hey, I've promoted your guys' launches. I want you guys to come in and help me promote yours. Send out to your email list, do all the things. I'm calling in all the favors. This lady, Mattie, who I'll tell you about her big problem right now in a second. She has a major problem that I'm faced with. I'm now learning how to use all social media platforms properly to come to one place, rather than like what most people do with social media is you shotgun like, oh, I got to post today, I got to post today, I got to post today. And it's fragmented and you don't really see a lot of traction. And so with Mattie, I'm really practicing all 18 social media platforms properly to really create a symphony that ultimately goes into a book launch. The book launch I'll make no money on the book launch. But what will I do is after the book launch goes, we'll probably sell, I'd say 100,000 copies is what I'm thinking, anticipating based on our existing loyal audience and all of that. And after the book launches, I'll go on a book tour for probably 30 days, take my wife and kids, and hopefully I take Mattie. But I don't know what's going to happen with Mattie. I'll tell you what her problem is and what I think her biggest problem is going to be in a couple of weeks. But I hope to take Mattie and take her on a road tour, and people can meet Mattie and all of this. Once I'm on the road tour and I'm done, then we turn the book into a free book plus shipping, and then to buy the video content's like $30. And then we run traffic to it, spend $3 million on it next year and sell another 200,000 copies. And the ads will self-liquidate based on the $7.95 plus the $30 thing. So I basically have a free funnel that's paying for people to get the book in their home, if that makes sense. And so you run that for 2 years, and then I'll go to my next book, which is the next book in the series that I'm writing right now. So with Mattie, her biggest problem right now is she has 26 days left until she gets kicked out of the shelter she's in.
Okay.
So these shelters only allow for 90 days at a time, and it takes like 2 years to get into a shelter. They're so overwhelmed. And so she's in the shelter. She had to get sponsored by a police officer to be like, you're my one sponsorship that I can give away this year.
Okay, yearly. They only get it one a
year? They get one a year in Phoenix. And so she gets this dude to get her to get sponsored in the spot. She has 90 days to go. She reaches out to me on like day 55. She's got 26 days left currently, and she hasn't gotten a deal yet. And what I'm teaching her to do is just bird dog for me. So she's going into the free Facebook group, and she's finding wholesalers, taking those wholesalers' deals, copying and pasting the address to my team. My team has said no to 35 deals she sent over, but we're giving her feedback, so she's learning how to comp. And she's doing all of this from this broken ass piece of shit Obama phone.
Yeah.
It's cracked on. It doesn't even respond to like pressing stuff.
You can get her a phone.
No,
Okay.
because I can't even give her a piece of paper.
Okay.
If I give her a piece of paper, somebody reading the book is like, oh, yep, she didn't start from nothing.
Yeah, Pace gave her a sheet of paper.
Pace gave her, no, I wish I was joking, and you know how people are.
Yes.
Oh, and they'll be the victim mentality of like, oh, so what I worry about is Mattie's going to get a check. I know she will. I've not had anybody send my team, my fix and flip team, more than 35, 40 houses and not end up getting at least one deal bought. Mm-hmm. Like my team will buy deals. We'll go, it's too high. It's $25,000 too high. Go back and tell the wholesaler we'll buy it at this price. And she's going to get a check between 5, 7, maybe even upwards of $15,000 for just being the bird dog. What does a woman who's never had $5,000 in her bank account ever, Sam, never in her life, she's never had $5,000. What is she going to do?
So that's your concern?
That's my biggest concern. I mean, bro, you've had acquisition people or you've had people on your sales team that get a big fat commission and then they ghost for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's people that don't have the mindset problems that she has. She's never seen $5,000 ever, and she's 59.
How long has she been off of drugs? That would be
a year and a half.
Ooh, so not super long.
Not super long, no.
Yeah.
But she's been on the street that whole time. Mm-hmm. And when I drop her off and pick her up at the shelter, she's giving high fives to all these druggies that are all like her friends. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting to go through all of this and have an experiment of like, if I could help this lady, literally nobody can say that they can't do this business. Mm-hmm. And so this book for me is going to be a manifesto to be like, every other book that you think you should read, As a Man Thinketh, The Secret, Rich Dad Poor Dad, like literally don't read any of that stuff. All iconic, unbelievable books. Read mine first. It is going to show you the 3 most basic ways to make money in real estate. They're not creative finance deals. They're creative strategies like bird dogging. Mm-hmm. Like, wait, you're telling me I don't have to comp. I don't have to cold call. I don't have to do any of this stuff. I just got to find wholesalers and then go to a buyer and say, hey, will you buy this deal? Tell me what price you want to buy it at. You do that 30, 40 times, you're getting $5,000. It's going to happen. I'm sure you've bought deals from bird dogs where the bird dogs are like, I'm not even the wholesaler. Like I got the deal from the wholesaler and you paid that bird dog $5,000, $10,000, $15,000.
Yep, the numbers work, might as well.
Who cares? I'm financing your assignment fee anyway. I'm borrowing it from a private money lender. It doesn't take any skin off my nose.
As long as it works on my numbers, I don't care.
Right. So I look at that and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to create that. And then the second book I'm going to write is I'm going to take somebody like, your team that's already doing deals. I'm going to take somebody in the sub-2 community that's doing 20, 30 deals a year, but it's like, I need to transition from flipping and doing some BRRRR deals or some sub-2 single family rentals. And I'm going to spend a month with them and go, let me build an entire empire with you that will like self-sustain. Mm-hmm. So I have a 5-book series going where book number 1 is like, you could be on the streets, read this book, it's your manual. Book number 2 is I'm going to take somebody who basically has gone through all of that. And now it's going to be a chronological order of like, hey, where are you in the pathway? Because some people like, a guy that maybe is an analyst for a multifamily shop and he's looking at deals all day long, goes, I want to go out on my own. Probably doesn't need to start with bird dogging.
No, I would say, yeah, he's probably got the connections and has the network built. Yep.
So when people are like, how do I get started in real estate? It's like, well, who are you? Mm-hmm. And I always try and sum it up. There's an acronym I came up with. It's like, let me sum you up. SUM. What skills do you currently have? What level of understanding do you have? And where's your mindset right now? Like, are you afraid to do X, Y, and Z PDQ? Do you understand what title and escrow is? Do you have a skill of like being able to get on the phone and negotiate with somebody or build rapport? Oh, you don't have any of that stuff? Okay, let's put you on book number 1.
Okay.
Right, so I'm trying to create a series that is like my manifesto that when I retire, let's say in 10 years from like real estate, I will stop buying real estate at some point.
Yeah.
And I know you will too. You'll end up being just a lender or you'll have a team run it. And maybe they'll keep buying stuff, but you won't really be involved. I don't know what that is for everybody, but for me, it's probably at age 50, 52,
Is that
53.
your goal, kind of?
I think so, yeah.
What is the reason for that number? Just
my daughter's going to be 15, 16. And I literally just, from the age of her being 16 to 22, 23, 24, until she gets married, I want to be available every single day. And I'm available now, but also there's days where I fly out to St. Louis, Missouri. And I won't see I saw my kids this morning, but I won't see them tonight. I haven't stayed in a hotel in a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah. I've been home I'm just obsessed with my kids and obsessed with my family. I know that you guys are the same way. So you get to a point where you realize the only thing that really matters is that freedom of I'm going to wake up this morning, hang out I made this joke to somebody yesterday. I signed docs in my Crocs. Like I'm hanging out in my back patio watching my kids swim, and my notary comes over to the back of the house and I sign deals. I don't go to the office, and like that is a dream life for me. So when people go, how do I have that? I go, well, where do we need to start you?
You got to figure out where your skills.
Yeah.
What are the skills?
Skills, understanding, and mindset.
I think it's understanding and mindset are the same. We're going to change that. It's going to be skills. What do you have access to, and what's your mindset? And that's Sam. Get it?
I actually really like that.
Skills, access, and mindset. Because mindset and understanding are similar. So you're going to call it your Sam, so you're just going to give me some free press.
Yeah, mindset is like, for me, mindset is like everything is everybody else's fault versus, no, I'm the responsible. Yeah, the mentality.
And you could call it something. I just want to put my name in. I'm just kidding with you.
I love it. But like, I'm sure that with your community members, when you're talking to them or giving them a game plan, you're not giving them a cookie cutter game plan.
No, it's custom. Well, I call it what we focused on now. It used to be just the birds, you know that, right? It was all about the birds because that was easy. You could walk into a bird deal. 9 out of every 10 deals I bought in St. Louis cash flowed.
Right.
Now 1 out of every 10 does, just with the rate.
It's a different world.
Yeah. So it was birds for a while, and then it was like there's so many things that we.
Well, it's not even the strategy.
Yeah.
It's not even like, hey, what market, whatever. It's also like, who are you right now? What activities should you be doing?
Yeah.
Right. Because you'll have a member in your community that's like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. You're going to give her a different game plan than the guy who's working 2 jobs already. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to go, okay, for 30 minutes a day, I want you to do this, this, and this. This lady who's a stay-at-home mom is like, well, my kids are napping at 4 hours a day. I'm going to give them 2 different strategies. And I imagine you're doing the same thing as well.
Customized holistic approach is what I call it.
Yes.
So we can give you the whole package, but customize it for you and what your needs are.
And that's what people need. They don't need the approach of like, here's the system, here's the process. I just launched, I'm sure you guys are working on your own version of this. I just launched my Pace clone in Sub 2.
Oh, you're like AI clone?
Yeah, so it's Pace GPT. And it takes all 5 years of my Zoom vault and everything I've ever taught. It's something like 14,000 14,000 Zooms or something crazy, like some bonk. It took 4 days for the AI to like scrape and go through everything. And now my members are texting me all day long, like, I don't even need to go to the Q&As. I don't need to show up to things. I literally can tell this exactly what my problem is, and it will go, based on your age, your money that you have in your bank account, where you are, and I'm looking at your Google Calendar right now, this is where you should be spending time on blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, we call it Sam Chat. Yeah, it's
holy crap.
Well, because I tell people, if you ask me 100 questions, I've already answered 99 of them 100 times. So rather than having me answer the exact same question, you're getting my exact answer. You're getting my brain exactly how to answer because I've answered it 100 times, and it's all in AI, all subscribed. So I know I'm not in front of you on the phone, but you're getting my exact answer. So yeah, that's one way.
And where people might even think like, oh well, Sam's removing himself, Pace is removing himself. No, I would argue that it allows Sam and Pace to double down on more meaningful connections. I'm not going to answer how do you talk to your seller about X, Y, and Z PDQ because I've answered that 500 times. What I want to answer is you come in here and go, Pace, I have 14 properties. My husband has a job to go here. Da 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 da. Should we sell these 14 properties or should we? It's like you need to ask me more personalized questions that I haven't answered 1,000 times so I can connect with you on a different level. But if you're asking me scripting questions, ask Pace GPT. He will allow you and I to actually connect on a meaningful question. So, I know it's not to skip out on work. It's so you can actually elevate your relationship.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to do more and create more impact. And telling somebody, if they should double sign or close something, or double close or sign something's not really worth anybody's time. So
right. I mean, they're not perfect, but those ChatGPTs will get way, way better.
And they're getting better, and they're pretty dang good as far as most of the questions people ask. Their first 100 questions are all the same for the most part.
That is true. They think that they have unique. I think that was another problem for me is that I thought the problems when I jumped into real estate for the first time were like, these are Pace problems. Then you realize, no, these are human problems. Everybody goes through these exact situations, the self-doubt, the shame, the am I worthy, Do I deserve this? All of
Imposter
that.
syndrome. You're unique, but you're not.
Yeah, you look.
You look funny, but you look unique, but you're not.
That is correct. Sadly.
I'm just kidding. All right. So that is a wild story. So yeah, I saw that and I knew it was real, but I'm like, that is just because I remember you talking about Utah and trying to, have a TV show, create your own and take some homeless people. And then it like not fell into your lap because it's probably some type of,
I didn't give up.
well, and it's some type of like just getting it out there and having,
Yeah, the
eventually-
universe, God, whatever is like, let me deliver the right thing to
being
you at
able
the right time.
Yeah.
And I had to be ready for it. It's just like anything else. It's like, this happens to you in your business, I'm sure, all the time, where you're like, I need this position filled. I need a position filled. I need it filled. You hire. You're doing all the things, and then magically somebody comes along that like you knew the whole time, but they weren't ready to be hired, and then you hire them, and you're like, where were you this whole time?
Do you think it's like the universe or higher power, or do you think if you stay focused on something, you're just more aware when that opportunity presents?
I think it's both, but like here's how I look at it.
Okay.
This is weird. So let's say, for hopefully that people can see this.
Yeah, I think they can. Yep.
Okay. So let me see your pen. So this is you, and you're going through life, right? And what happens, you tell the universe what you want. You speak to the universe, God, whatever it is. You tell people in your environment what you want. And what happens is the universe goes, okay, let me rearrange these things to make sure that there's a clear path for what he wants. Well, these rearranging situations take the universe a couple of months. Why? Because they have to make something happen in somebody else's life to make this person quit their job to be ready to be hired. They need this person to get pregnant in order for them to quit their job or whatever it is. There has to be a domino effect in order for the manifestation to be possible for you to get all the way through that. What most people do is they tell the universe, I want the thing. I really do want the thing, universe. The universe starts rearranging things, and then they go, well, I actually want to go this direction now because this doesn't feel like there's an open pathway yet.
There's no momentum.
And the universe is like, bro, I'm working on it.
Give me a minute.
I'm moving things around. What are you doing? And so then these people are like, nothing ever works for me. I feel lost. I feel stuck. It's like, no, bitch. You just need to tell the universe that you want something, and you need to prove to it that you're serious by sticking to it. And then also know that this is one of my favorite things my mom told me. She says, the universe will conspire on your behalf if you tell it what you want. And so the universe, what it did is it's like, oh, Pace kind of wants this thing, but the universe can see what's on the other side. And the universe knows what you want more than you do. And I know this has happened to you in your life as well. You're just a good dude, so like good shit happens to you. So the universe can see what's on the other side of this blockade. You think you want to get to this point, and the universe is conspiring and making something even better because you're staying consistent and you're not giving up, and all these things move, right? It could be somebody gets hit down the road. Or here's a good example. This is weird shit. The Navajo Nation says, we are sick and tired of these people in Mesa stealing our mother freaking water. We're gonna force the city of Mesa to put a new pipeline near Pace's house to re-divert water. So now instead of me coming out of my neighborhood and turning left, which I normally do, I have to turn right. Then I see a freaking sign that sparks a thing that makes me want to go here today instead of blah, 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 blah. The universe will conspire on your behalf, and it will put things in your pathway as long as you stay with it.
But you have to be paying attention to these things, though.
You have to be paying attention, yeah, so that's the part you asked. I think first and foremost is you have to know what the hell you want.
Yep. Clarity is key.
You have to know what you want, and most people don't know what they want. What did Shakespeare say? He says, know thyself. So a year and a half ago, dude, I was telling you I wanted to do this shit. Here we are a year and a half later, and the greatest, most golden opportunity lands in my lap. Because the universe is like, this motherfucker don't quit.
Yeah, we're just might as well give it to him now. Move on to something else.
It would be futile for us, the universe, the gods, the God, Jesus, whoever it is, the Holy Ghost, whatever you want to call them. It would be a waste of their time not to conspire on my behalf. Because I'm an obsessed motherfreaker. I will just go, I'm doing this. I'm going to do it no matter what. And I wasn't always that way, Sam. And I know you always weren't that way.
You've been that way for a while, though.
I think the last 10 years.
Okay.
Same thing with you, like bar fights and shit that you used to be in. Like you used to be.
Well, that was Lucas. I was getting him out of the bar fights, but I was in them.
But you were in the situation that you had to get somebody out of a
Handcuffed
fight.
just a few times, yeah.
Right. So like you were a different person, but when you start seeing the equations of life, of like, no, I know the equation. 1 + 1 = 2. It's pretty simple. And when somebody else comes to you and goes, hey, Sam, I just can't figure out how to add my life up to 2. You're like, bro, it's 1 + 1 = 2. I've been through it 1,000 times. So when you see the equation of I want a thing, I'm going to point in that direction and I'm going to pursue it, and wake up and actually put some time and energy into it, the universe will then make shit happen for you. And you'll go, why is this getting so much easier? It's not getting easier. The universe just had its time to move things around and cause a diversion of the water in your neighborhood, or cause this person to get fired, and then you hire that person that actually gave you the right idea. Or for my lending business, the last couple of years I've been working on building a lending business that doesn't require me. And your team and the people here have been helpful to my team as well. What's the girl's name? They're sisters.
Rachel and Suzanne.
They're so freaking good. They're so sweet. So I'm persistent. And the person I had in that lending business for a long time just wasn't getting the job done. And I just kept going. And my operator, I won't say her name because she might watch this and she'll think, why did you say my name? Because I didn't doubt you, Pace. But she doubted me. She's like, we should just keep doing what we've been doing, where all of our loans just happen through your phone because it works. You're doing a couple loans a week just through your phone. And I'm like, no, I need somebody that has experience, blah, 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 blah. So all of a sudden I get a call like maybe 4 months ago. A girl named Heather says, hey, my partnership about 4 months ago took a turn. This partner got sick and it's a bad situation and I need a place to put my expertise. And I was like, if I would have given up, the universe would be like, dude, I tore up this partnership to make sure she was available to you, and you gave up.
Yep. And then now she screwed over, and so about all that. So it used to worry me, and I used to get like nervous, like not understanding the universe and everything. And this happened to me recently, actually. I wonder what your take on this is. I used to be like, I don't know what's next and what happens and what is going on. And then I realized, in my opinion, at least right now where at my life is, there's no way I could know. I don't think I am capable. Nobody's capable of understanding. Just like my dog can't do algebra. We're not capable of understanding. Like, it's just not even a thing, so why worry about it? So that's helped me recently. What is your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I would call that, there's a word that I recently was reintroduced to. It's ruminating.
Okay, what is?
Ruminating is like you are worried about things and you're basically like a piece of meat marinating in some soy sauce. Like you're just sitting there worried, thinking about this stuff. And I read this thing a couple of years ago. I would wake up in the morning stressed out about big events because you want them to happen. You want them to provide value. Like Squat Up Summit was something I couldn't sleep over for 4 months.
You guys blow that thing up.
Insane. Like 2024 from December, January, February, March, April, when the event happened, that December all the way through, I could not sleep.
3,000 people, no marketing. And
no marketing.
And you just provide value. I talked to people that were there. I know you got your owners club and everything rocking with that. So yeah, but that worried you.
Oh, bro, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep, and then finally I read something that said the word ruminate. Like you're ruminating, you're stuck in this thing where you're focusing on all these negative things. So what happens when you focus on negative things?
Negativity comes.
I hate to admit it, but that's what happens. And so you and I both have friends, or used to have friends. I don't hang out with these people anymore. That like literally everything out of their mouth is some negative thing, and they're wondering why the world is conspiring against them. Well, the world thinks that they want these things in their world, and they close it up. It's kind of like the algorithm. God, the universe, is the greatest, most intelligent algorithm on planet Earth. Okay, and so for me, like if you go to my algorithm on Instagram and you'll look at your For You page, it will show you what I actually want, not what I follow, not what I say I want, but what I actually engage with. It will
what
feed
you watch
me.
for a quarter second longer than something else, what you liked, what
There
you
you
scrolled,
go.
what you stopped on, what you screenshotted. Yeah.
And that is a definition of your life as well. It's like the quality of the people you're around, the bank account you have, the value, the impact, all the things that you have is basically the For You page just suggesting more of the same that you're already engaging with. So are you willing to put up with this person in your life? Are you willing to put up with not taking care of yourself? Are you willing to put up with blah, 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 whatever the things are? And if you are, the universe will go, oh, this person likes this stuff. Otherwise, why would they keep ruminating and engaging with the negative? They obviously like it. So let's feed them more of it because they are engaging with it. And so for me, my wife will go, hey, we're going to a birthday party at so-and-so's house. I'm like, no. You are going. I will not be talking to their husband who has a 9-to-5 job. I just will not be doing it. I cannot hang out in that environment because the universe will go, oh, he likes that. Let's feed him more of those opportunities. And that scares the shit out of me. So what I do instead is like when I'm worrying about something, I go, okay, somebody better, smarter, stronger than me, sitting in the situation I'm in right now, what would they do better that I'm not doing? And it's so simple. It's like, let's say maybe it's Sam Prim. I go, all right, I'm really worried about X, Y, and Z, but if Sam Prim was in this exact situation, what would he do? And if he was in my mind right now and he got caught up to speed with everything I'm worried about, would Sam say, this is justified? Or would Sam say, bro, you're being a bitch. Go do this instead and invest your time ruminating on the positive and go create positive results. And I would tell you what I've learned from Chase Hughes, the guy that I told you is my mentor. People are like pigs in shit. Meaning that you could clean off all the mud off of a pig. The second you let it out, goes right back in because it finds comfort in all the bullshit, right? It gets the dopamine of blaming somebody else. It gets the dopamine of going, well, this is why I haven't been successful because everybody's put me in this really bad situation. And it comes down to a self-worth problem and a worthiness problem and imposter syndrome and all these things. So my dad has been doing his whole life. He gets to this level of success, and then what does he do? He dismantles everything because it's like too much pressure to
self-sabotage kind of thing.
100%. Every 2 to 3 years, my dad self-sabotages.
Do you think it's just the imposter syndrome? Do you go, just people because people
self-esteem. It's self-esteem. Yeah. Am I worthy of this? Is this mantle? Is this torch I'm bearing? Is it too hot? If it's too hot, I got to get it away from me and pass it on to the next person. So they go out of their way to conspire against themselves. And then what happens is then the universe is like, oh, so this is what you want to do with your life. God loves you so much, he wants to give you exactly what you're asking for. But he's smart enough to know it ain't going to come from your mouth. It's going to come from your actions. And so God looks at your prayers and he's like, okay, cool. And it's like that I think it's in James, the Bible verse that says faith without works is dead. So like you can say you want these things, but if you're not putting the work in, then it's the same thing with Instagram. You can follow these accounts, John Deere tractors, or hey, let me show you how stuff works, whatever, cool little engineering things. But if you're tapping on motorcycles, it's gonna feed you freaking motorcycles, regardless of what you follow. So it's the same thing when people praise, they go, God, please help me out of this situation. And then they go hang out with negative people. He's just going to give you more negative people because he's like, well, obviously you like this. You keep hanging out with them.
Yeah, you want people to think you're following this or think you're doing this. But like the algorithm the same way, it's all about what you actually engage with it. It a few years ago switched from a user-based platform to a content-based platform.
Right.
Now you used to only see people you followed. Now I could see somebody, I could never see somebody that I follow's post because it's all about the content interaction.
Yeah,
so.
Am I interacting with that content? Have I moved on? Do I need something else in my life, etc.? I like it. But also like the universe, going back to social media also is inside of this office. Okay, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I come to your office, okay? And I immediately walk into somebody that works on your team. Do they smile? Are they dressed properly? Are they unbelievably friendly? The answer is hell yeah, they are, because that's what you attract, right? You have done such a good job in your social circle that people want to come and work for you and be part of your mission. Bro, that's one of the most powerful algorithms of all time. And now those people attract the next person, the next person. There's not one turd in this building. I go to other people's offices, and you're like, man, the culture here stinks. Why?
You can feel it.
You can feel it. Cut it with a freaking knife. Here, it's like, man, I'm hanging out with the homies, and this is a bright, airy, beautiful building with amazing people that are all just here to help out. And so what does that tell you? That tells you that Sam isn't just saying he does a thing. Sam, behind closed doors, is doing a thing. And then Sam also has hired amazing people and brought unbelievable people on his team that are also doing amazing things, because then it shows up inside of this For You page, essentially. So shout out to you, dude. There's very few people that can get me now that I'm older to go, hey, you want to do a meetup in St. Louis? If it's anybody else, the answer is no.
You were like, I'm trying not to travel. I'm like, you don't have to, but it'd be cool if you did. You're like, all right, fine, I'll come.
For Sam and how you are and how you show up, And this goes into like collaboration versus competition. Like there's people that will attack. I don't know who they are, but like Cody Sanchez will text me and she goes, "How do you handle people that attack you online?" I'm like, do I have people that attack me online? I don't know. I don't see them.
Yep.
Because I don't engage with them. And she's like, "How do you handle it?" I go, "I'm blind to the bullshit." She's like, "But help me with that." And I go, I know the equation. I know the equation is that when I collaborate with somebody who could be considered my competition, the universe opens up an amazing relationship with me and creates a relationship for me and creates something that I get good ideas from you and vice versa. And our teams can thrive with each other and we can text each other and all of those kind of things. Is I know the result of competition. I also know the result of collaboration. And real estate, oh my gosh, man, I'm so grateful for real estate. The most collaborative team sport on planet Earth. Like when I was a contractor, ain't no contractors collaborating with each other. It's like,
it's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat because only one guy can get the job. It's not like you can assign the job to another guy and get an assignment fee.
And there's a finite amount of jobs. There's not really, I mean, there is, but there's not really a finite amount of real estate. It's just an ever-evolving machine.
Yes.
That there's always, the property that's in good condition now is going to be distressed in 3 years. I'm going to buy it. Like it's just always adding to the inventory. So yeah,
correct.
It's one of those things where your vibe, I know it's corny, but your vibe attracts your tribe. And we're like, I'm here 8-10 hours a day. I haven't figured out how to work from home. But why would I want to hang out with my friends while I'm here? I spend so much time. Why would I want to hang out with people I don't like? So we'll just find the people you like and we'll train them the
weird
skill.
too. It's like you look at Warren Buffett. Homeboy is a multi-billionaire. I saw somebody on X the other day saying like, I don't get why these old people are sitting in boardroom meetings when they could be on a beach somewhere. Like they could have retired. I'm like, because creators create. And when you find the thing, the tuning fork that just makes you vibrate at a level of like, I can't stop thinking about doing this thing every single day, you're not doing it for the money. And that sounds so stupid. If I told myself that 14 years ago, I'd be like, bro, shut up and show me how to make money. But now you get to a point where you have found that wavelength that you want to vibrate in, the office you've created, the environment, the culture you've created. And I could give you a check for $1 billion today, and tomorrow you're like, all right, what am I going to create?
Well, so I've actually been thinking about this recently. The people that want to work so they can go live on a beach never, ever do. The people that want to work, that enjoy the process, that want to impact the world, that could sit on a beach, they just don't tend to, and maybe till they're old enough where they can't really get around. So it's just like it's oxymoron's not the right word, but like the people that want to work to quit never can quit, and the people that want to work to grow and scale and not quit can quit, but they don't. So it's
so
the exact
weird.
opposite.
So weird.
I don't know how to describe it, articulate it well, but
you already said it. You said it's the journey, not the destination. And so like I'm in 6th grade. I have 3 really good friends, Tyler, Anthony, and Pete. And every Friday we would basically, Monday through Thursday, we would save up our little shekels from our lunch money. Like I'd get $2 a day for lunch money, and I'd save 50 cents of it for 4 days in a row so I could go down to 7-Eleven with my buddies. Okay, this is 30-something years ago, 6th grade, so I'm 11. So 33 years ago, bro, or 31 years ago.
Yeah, don't make yourself too old.
The 7-Eleven's still there. I went and made a YouTube video about it a couple of months ago. And we would all walk down from North Ogden Elementary, and we would recite the movie Friday, word for word in 6th grade, going back and forth with each other. And we'd go down to 7-Eleven, and we would go down there on Friday to basically get, what does he say?
He said you need to go sign something. So.
Oh, he means to sign docs. Okay, cool. Have them come in here. I'll sign docs in here.
Yeah, tell them to bring them in here. Yeah,
buying an RV park online. Let's do
it right here.
So we would go down to 7-Eleven literally just to get a Ruby Red Squirt.
Okay,
this is when Ruby Red Squirt was like all the new thing. Oh my gosh, a new flavor. And it was so popular that we weren't guaranteed every Friday to get a Ruby Red Squirt. So we'd run down there, we'd get it, we'd rush to the back. Everybody's clamoring over each other to like fight for maybe the last 2 Ruby Red Squirts that are there. They just couldn't keep them in stock. And that was the destination. The destination was like, get the Ruby Red Squirt, and whoever gets it, gets it. The other ones have got to buy freaking Sprite or some crap, right? Or regular Fresca or something. So.
Well, now you'd get the Fresca.
Well, yeah, when I come here, you guys hook it up. So I'm sitting there. This goes on for months. And then one Friday, all 3 of my friends were on a soccer team together, traveling soccer team. So they weren't there on a Friday. So my immediate thought was like, oh, I'm guaranteed the ruby red squirt. So I'm walking down to 7-Eleven, kind of boring. Just looking around. All right, well, I miss my homies. I miss the going back and forth about whatever movie or girl that we liked or whatever it was. I get down to the 7-Eleven. Guess what? I walk in. There's a ruby red squirt. I go outside. I open it up. It just didn't taste the same.
Not the same.
It's not the same. It was missing this nostalgia. It was missing the camaraderie. Come on in here.
Come on, Pacer's going to
Come
close
sit
on
next
some
to me.
docs live on the air.
Let's do it.
Tell them what you're closing on.
I'm buying 2 RV parks in Big Spring, Texas.
How'd you get them?
We got these from a sub-2 student that brought these deals to me. They got paid $60,000 just bringing me a lead. And oh my gosh.
You're gonna be on TV, so are you excited?
Yes. Heck yeah.
You look better to be on TV than we do. So.
Yes, 100%. She's an absolute rock star.
So this is for those of you guys watching right now, one of the best ways to get into real estate, if you're like, I don't want to flip a house, I don't want to do the BRRRR, I don't want to do a sub-2 rental, I don't want to deal with tenants, just find a deal for somebody like me. And what was kind of cool is that this person, the student, didn't have to bring me a contract. They brought me an interested seller.
So you did the work.
I did all the work.
And they still got 60 grand.
They got 60 G's. I mean, the purchase price, I think, is roughly $3 million. It's a bigger deal, but this is what I'm actually teaching Mattie, the homeless lady.
I was going to say, yeah, she needs to bring you one of these.
She's learning this, right? I don't have to negotiate. I don't have to comp. I don't have to worry about paperwork. I have to worry about tenants or managing a thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
She is amazing. Thanks, Sarah.
So it's one of the easiest ways to get started in real estate, and it gets rid of literally every excuse that you could even imagine. Honestly, I wish that was the first deal I ever did. Actually, the first deal I did bird dogging. I sold it to my mentor at the time, and I made 25 grand, but I had to go and do the contract, and I had to do the negotiating. That person didn't have to do any of that.
Did you realize that, hell yeah, I like to do this negotiating? Because
My team loves it, and we don't want somebody negotiating on a big RV park on our behalf. Like, there's so much due diligence that goes into those bigger deals that you're like, just bring us the interested party. We'll do all the due diligence before we're going to go from LOI to actual purchase agreement. And so we're not even in the LOI stage. For those of you guys that don't know what LOI is, it's letter of intent. Go listen to George Strait. Do you like me? Do you love me? Do you want to hold my hand song? And you'll understand what an LOI is. An LOI basically is like, I send a letter to the seller and I say, hey, if you liked me, circle yes or no.
Or maybe.
And if you don't like me, tell me what I could do for you to like me so we could actually have a conversation about potentially then getting into an engagement or a purchase agreement. In larger deals, you're going LOI first, then you go to contract, because the big commercial deals, the bigger deals, they're like, we're not going to waste our time getting into a purchase agreement. We're going to be marketing simultaneously while you're in LOI with us, because we don't know if you're going to make it to purchase and sell.
Just kind of like dating before you get engaged.
Yeah,
the contract's the engagement. You're
Yes.
like dating. The LOI, yeah.
Yeah, the LOI is like, do you potentially maybe want to go on a date? Let me know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that student just brought somebody who says, yeah, I'm interested in selling, and yes, I'm interested in seller finance. Okay, great. Let me tee you up with the person that is my big buyer. And then I pay that student outside of escrow so that the student is not seen on the HUD, so that seller doesn't see any of that kind of crap. It also gets around a lot of the like weird wholesaling laws that are happening right now. I look at this and it's like, you look at North Carolina just banned wholesaling.
Did they? Well, because it started in South Carolina, right?
Yeah, it started in South Carolina. I have a title company there, so like
It's going to get adopted everywhere.
Oh,
now,
everywhere,
right?
the whole world. So like people will text me and go, "What do you think about it?" I'm like, I think it's stupid, but also at the same time, I'm not powerful enough to stop it. So what are you going to do? Like, I also don't make the movement of the ocean, but I'm a surfer.
Are you a surfer?
No, I'm just saying, like, from a deal standpoint, like whatever
I
the
couldn't see
waves
you
are doing.
surfing. I see more. I see
You're a
more
surfer
behind
too.
a John tract. I see you behind like a John Deere.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, you're a surfer, you're a deal surfer too. Like, whatever the ocean is delivering to you, you're going to change what time you go out to the waves. You're going to change whether you're in a wetsuit or not. You're going to change however you react to the environment.
Well, we can't control what
No.
happens, but we can control how we react to what
Correct.
happens.
And so I look at the North Carolina thing. They just banned wholesaling. But here's what they did. They're so stupid. They have no idea what they're doing. The person who put the legislation together, what they said is they said, hey, Anybody not intending to move into the house. So think about all the real estate investors, like people that are flipping houses, people that are doing the BRRRR strategy. It doesn't matter. Even if you are direct to seller, there's no wholesaler involved whatsoever. There's no assignment. If you are not intending to take possession of that home as a home owner, the seller has the ability to cancel at any point in the contract.
Okay, so that's stupid, but if you have a good relationship with the seller, that's you get around it. But still, that's just somebody not knowing what they're talking about, because people don't understand. This is another thing we get online. And by the way, I don't see all the negative comments either. I don't even read them.
Yeah. I want more of them, by the way. Talk all the shit.
Yeah, no, good press. The first time Pace met me, I had never met him before. We seen each other online. He goes up to me in a mastermind and goes, I wish that Dave Ramsey called me a liar. That's what I want for Christmas this year. So you like that. But regardless, people don't understand how important real estate investors are to the whole real estate industry and world, because what is the U.S. Real estate market sneezes, the whole world gets a cold kind of thing. If there weren't real estate investors to take these distressed houses that banks won't lend on, that nobody has the money for down payment, let alone an 80 grand rehab, the entire real estate economy would crumble way worse than '08 if investors went away, which is what some people want. They think me and you are stealing supply from a single mom trying to buy a first house. No, we're buying a house, making it nice, letting the market speak on the price. Sometimes we lose money, sometimes we make it, and then we're giving it to that mom. So we take the houses that aren't in the supply and bring them to the supply. The reason I'm going on this tangent, because that's what this North Carolina person probably thinks. They don't understand that we're helping, we're not hurting.
They're also being lobbying. Somebody's lobbying on behalf of real estate agents. It's National Association of Realtors has a lot more money than we do as investors, right? They're very powerful. They have a lot of money, and so what they're doing is they're trying to fight on behalf of their real estate agents, because real estate agents being attacked or losing deal flow is what they think is happening. Makes it so agents are not as successful. Less successful agents mean less agents are paying their yearly dues.
Ours, yeah.
Right? So they obviously have a very, very massive financial interest in making sure that real estate agents are protected. The problem with it is I've been doing the business long enough. I'm not the most seasoned investor, but 12 years. Thousands of deals, thousands and thousands of deals, that I realize that most of my deals come from agents who failed. Mm-hmm. Right? You want to protect agents, get them to actually understand how to comp a property and convince their seller, like, you're way overpriced. And if you want that price, we need to go into the market with seller finance. If not, I'm going to get fired in 6 months. Then Pace's team's going to call you and say, why didn't you do seller finance? The seller's going to say, well, nobody ever told me. Wait, your licensed real estate agent who is supposed to be your fiduciary did not give you an option that would have given you the price that you so ludicrously wanted?
So make it harder to get licensed, you think?
I think so. I mean, do you know how many hours it takes for a barber to get a license?
Like 1,000 or 2,000?
1,500 on national average. What's the average for a real estate agent? 90 hours. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. You're telling me I could cut a mullet.
You would look good in a mullet, by the way.
I'm trying to grow one right now. I could.
He had one for a while.
I could grow them. I could go and cut somebody's mullet slower. It would take me longer to get into that business than it would to sell somebody's largest financial asset in their life.
And you have like a guard that does it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I love real estate agents. This is not a criticism of them. I just think that the business as a whole, I bless real estate agents. If you choose to be an agent,
he has your sympathy. No,
yeah.
I love them. We're going to buy 75 houses in St. Louis just from agents this year. So yeah, agents are a great lead source for us.
But those are the 1% of agents that understand that they can play the game.
They understand the game.
They're the ones that have made it out long enough and have gotten educated. But the majority of the agents in that industry, their brokers aren't going to them and saying, hey, just want to let you know that, like, being an agent is great, should be 20% of your income, but you should go out and 40% of your income should be coming from real estate investors. The other 40%, you got to go out and do your own deals, right? Like this was interesting to me, and I was upset by it. When I got into the business, I don't know if you know this, but Bethany, my mentor, she would not help me. I rarely tell this part of the story. She would not help me until I gave her $135,000. She sold her HomeVestor franchise to me, the We Buy Ugly Houses. That's how she was convinced to help me. She was like, well, if you want me to help you, buy my business. I'm retiring this year. And I was like, I don't have $135,000. She's like, I'll sell it to you on seller finance. I'm like, on what?
And that's how you.
That was my first seller finance deal. She taught me, give me 25 grand and I'll help you. So I go do my first deal 2 weeks later. I make 25 grand. I was like, wait a minute. I just got your business for free. Like this is amazing. So I was making her payments through doing deals with her. And then I sold her 100 deals that year. But when I jumped into Homevestors, massive organization, 1,100 franchisees, I went to Dallas to get trained. And I'm in their training for Homevestors for a week. And on the final day, they came up with something called dig leads. They go, half of your business should be from Homevestors. The other half of your business should come from something we call dig leads. I'm like, what's a dig lead, mother? A dig lead is you got to go dig it up yourself. Work probate leads, work this, go do that, get real estate agent. I'm like, why did I buy a franchise if you want me to go and do? So it's kind of the same thing. They don't want agents to know up front that you should be building your business outside of just doing listings and buyers.
And paying for a Zillow lead or whatever. You got to go actually do it. Yeah.
You got to go meet a Sam Prim. You got to go meet people that are doing repeat deals.
We call it the gravy train. So we're going to buy
Yes.
300 deals this year here. 200 are going to come from $0 in marketing spend and the other 100 from marketing, because you get 5 good wholesalers, 5 good agents. It might take you a year to find 5 good ones of each. That's 15 or 20 deals every single year for as long as everybody's in business. You're done. You can literally coast. You'll get sent 5, 6 leads a month. You'll buy 1 or 2, and then you're good.
Yeah. And people that are agents, once you guys understand, like you have a significant disadvantage, also simultaneously a significant advantage. Your license is both. Why? Because it doesn't teach you anything that you need to become in the real estate investor world. But by just having it, you have a little bit more credibility than we do. Mm-hmm. So most agents get stuck in that 99 percentile of like, I don't want to deal with investors, right? Then you get the ones that are like, I'm going to sell Sam 15 deals this year, and then I'll do 5 listings. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do 2 of my own flips. And then I'll buy 2 of my own rentals. Like that is, I think, the perfect real estate agent right there. Like I'm doing 5 listings a year, people I like. I'm not going to be your therapist, you little freaking child, right? Because that's the problem with being a buyer's agent or listing agent is you're a therapist first. If I'm an agent, I'm telling those, like I take on 5 listings a year, kiss my ass. If you're going to be a pain in the ass, I will fire you on day 1. Mm-hmm. This is what your house will sell for. Don't even fight me. If you want to fight me, go hire some other idiot and hire me after you fire them. Then I would be doing, deals with a Sam Prim.
And they're easier, by the way, too. You bring it to me, we offer the seller gets taken care of, we can close. It's the easy button.
And you're closed in 10 days.
And they're a pain in the butt to sell on the traditional market anyway.
And you're expecting that there's going to be problems with the house. So you're not doing a full-blown inspection and beating people up. Yep. You're not playing a game. These deals are done. Cool. Then I would also ask Sam, hey, can I list your properties if you're flipping them? Mm-hmm. Can I list them for you? And if you do, I'll do it for a 1% commission. I'll do it super easy because those are going to be the easiest clients to sell your houses, right? When, let's say they're going to flip your houses. Then I would go out and I would do 2 or 3 of my own flips, make an extra $100,000 a year, and then I'd buy 2 or 3 rentals and do that for 5, 6 years and retire.
And you're literally set for life.
Yes. The problem is nobody teaches them that.
No.
Until they go into your community or my community. Mm-hmm. Like that's the only way they're going to learn that crap.
Yep. It's because we are more about impact than... Because we said this, the nicest thing, you say a lot of nice things about me, but I think we've had about 10 people move to St. Louis now. And I think last time you were here, you're like, I don't know one other community besides yours that people are like moving to be around. I don't know Hawaii,
anybody.
From
nothing. I don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. Arizona's become like the place where everybody moves. Yep. St. Louis is for you.
We're trying to do that here.
People are like, well, I just want to be closer to pace. I'm like, guys, we have 27,000 students nationwide. Like, do not, and we have 150 meetups every single week around the country, and they're successful and they're big, but like people want to be around the leader, right? Like people. In our community, we had 50 couples get married last year from meeting at meetups.
That's crazy.
50.
Yeah, that's a lot.
To the point where we're giving an award on stage this year for the cutest couple that got married inside the community. That's insanity.
How many babies are you going to be making then?
I don't know. The first sub-2 baby was Munif Saza's baby, so shout out to Munif, right? Yeah. We have a lot of people have like sub-2 tattoos, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and my biggest challenge is, I would say, how do I, as I scale my business, how do I still apply and communicate with the person that just started yesterday? Mm-hmm. That was my biggest problem for the last 3 or 4 years as I scaled and did bigger deals. But building a community that people can rely on of like, hey, I just did my deal 3 days ago, my first deal, let me help you. Pace is buying 2 RV parks today. He's helping the people that joined the community 3 years ago that are now upgrading to RV parks. But I'm here to help you out. Like, our community is so tight-knit, very similar to what you guys are doing. And the compliment I gave you, and it still stands and is probably even stronger in my opinion, is that there's nobody else I know in the real estate industry actually doing it the right way.
It's a very, very, like we said last time, there's probably less than a handful of people that do it the
Most
right
of them
way.
have quit, right? Because the economy has slowed down. So
Been
less people.
tough for the last couple of years, yeah.
If you are a mentor charging for mentorship in the last couple of years, and you have not felt the sway in people going, I can't join a mentorship because the economy's soft or I don't have excess capital, then you're not paying attention.
Or you're not doing remotely any numbers at all. You're doing 1 or 2 a month. We talked about this like 2 or 3 years ago. Every decision we made, we'd spend 5-10 grand on ads. We'd have 2,000 people on the webinar. We get 250 booked calls. We'd make 300 grand. Now spend 30 grand on ads. We're getting 1,000 people registered, 200 show up, and we're getting 8 signups. It's just so much tougher.
It's not
now.
even remotely close.
If I knew if we were as dialed in now as like 3 years ago, I would have made 5 times the money, and I'm not even exaggerating. So we're better. So when things do pick up, a lot of people dropped off, and we'll be ready to go.
It's me and you, and I don't know anybody else. I really don't know anybody else, and here's why. It's because people have realized the last couple of years, and I when I started my community 5 years ago, nobody was calling their mentorship a community.
Yep, that's been your
only one. And so I was the weirdo that was like, what's this community thing you're talking about? Now, what's happened is people tried to emulate and copy, which they should have, and I'm grateful they did, because that's what the goal was. The goal is to change the industry. Now those people are like, I'm a community. They are all gone.
And it's not, doesn't just saying your community doesn't make it.
Yeah, it doesn't make it so. So you have very few people that are doing it the right way. And even like Jerry Norton, my best friend, Jamil's my other best friend. Even Jerry Norton's like, I've been in the business of selling information for the last 10, 15 years. I've never had a community. So he comes in and joins Sub2 because he's like, I want to be part of a community myself, but I'm not going to do what you do. It's hard. What we do is nearly impossible. You almost have to be built specifically for it.
Kind of had to have like a few screws loose. Like
Maybe, yeah.
I heard you say on stage, I think at Family, you're a lunatic. I just say like I'm a psycho. That's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, you're built a certain way, and and it benefits the overall culture, and then people watch how you operate, and they're like, this guy's crazy. That gives me permission to also be a crazy go-giver to other people.
Where does that come from, do you think?
I think you're born with it, dude.
I think so. I think you're born with it. I also think it comes with a level, and maybe it's not you don't feel this way. I do, and I feel like there's a level of like insecurity of always trying to prove yourself.
Oh yeah, there's
like right. So like there's not like in a bad like, and I feel like I use my like insecurity and anxiety to like grow and push and help, and some people use those to tear down. So everybody has. You have anxiety. You were having trouble sleeping with Squat Up Summit and everything, and everybody's like, Pace has got tens of hundreds of millions in real estate, and you don't have to worry about money ever again, but you're still worried about it because you're a human and you have anxiety.
I'm probably more worried today than I was 10, 15 years ago.
And you probably, I would assume, have more money than you ever thought you would have.
Yes. I would say that that's probably accurate.
For me, I grew up, my dad was an engineer. I thought I was going to, you remember those Folgers commercials? Like, whatever in your cup, that whole slang and that whole little jingle. And then I remember seeing a guy kiss his kids.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in. I've never had coffee in my life, and I know that.
Yeah, so I remember seeing an ad of a guy kissing his kids and his wife, going to work in a suit, getting in a gold Camry. I'm like, that's my dream. That's what I want to do,
bro.
But that's what I want to do is like just have a kids. And so I did never expect to be where I'm at. But I think it's just taking those insecurities and just not like tearing other people down because you feel insecure, because that's what most people do.
That's true. I mean, I was talking to Chase Hughes again, psychologist, right? Talking about it. They were doing this study on rats of like how fast a rat can go from the start of the maze to where its food is. And they would change the scent. This is crazy. They would change the scent of the food to see what food made the rat run faster. They would starve the rat to the point where it was so freaking hungry. They played all these little things on it. And what they found is the thing that made the rat run faster than anything else was not anything that they planned on. Somebody came to them and goes, all right, guys, we've been running this study for like 6 months. The food is making them all run relatively the same. It's not the scent in front of them. We've got to create a scent behind them that propels them with fear.
Okay.
So they created a scent of a cat. And they pumped the cat scent behind them so they could smell a cat in the room. And the rats ran 10 times faster than they ever would have with than the desire of the food.
Because the fear drives. And
fear
it's
drives.
also the easy button. But it doesn't mean it's the right button always.
Well, here's what I took away from that. I go, and same thing with you, I use fear as a way to propel me forward. Other people put their fear directly in front of them, and it drives them backwards. And so I'm lucky. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it came from my parents. I don't know if it came from my church. I don't know if it came from, watching the equation of life over and over, or maybe a mentor said something to me. But my fear propels me to take action. I'm fearful of what happens if I don't.
Doesn't freeze you like it does most people, or tear people down.
Yeah, Chase Hughes, guys, go watch this. Like, unbelievable. He has a goal setting YouTube video where he's like, you want to actually set a goal that changes your life? This is how you do it. And I do it on my screen. So you'll see my daughter and this changes every minute. Okay. The photo changes every minute on my phone. Why? Because Chase says, all right, here's what you have to do. You have to create a future and a life so compelling. Like, a vision board is not enough. You have to create it so specific. Like, I drive this car, I do this, I eat this much food, I eat this, I do that, I live here, here's my house. Like, every single thing of like the perfect day. I wake up at 6:01. First thing I do is get laid, whatever it is.
Well, that's a great way to start
It's a
the
great
day.
way. Best part of waking up
is something else in something's cup.
That's right. So you make this so powerful. But then what you have to do on the contrary is you have to go over here and you have to create something of what? Okay, so step 1, compelling future. Step 2, steps that you have to take this year to achieve progress towards that goal, right? Then step 3 is you have to create, number 3, a hell vision board of like what happens if you don't do those steps, what your life will look like. So sometimes it's a picture of you being stuck. Maybe it's you with a dad bod. Maybe it's you driving a silver Camry instead of a gold Camry.
Yeah, got that gold one.
And you create these freaking images that are so scary that you're like, that is not what I want in my life. And so you convince your amygdala, which it operates out of fear. Your amygdala will now push you away from what it now can see visibly and run towards the thing that's less scary if you make this thing scary enough.
So your buddy's saying that?
Yeah. Chase Hughes, yeah.
Chase Hughes, I like that, because most people are going to say don't even visualize anything negative, because then it'll...
No, he says it has to be so scary, and it has to be so specific that you know exactly what your life is going to look like in a year if you take action or if you don't take action. Which one are you less afraid of? And so what I do is he's like, so this is what you do. He goes, I do it in my office because I'm in my office all day. All the TVs on his office are popping up positive images of everything that he wants in his life. Pictures of his kids, and then he creates this amazing app where you tell his app all the bad things you're afraid of. And then what it does is every 10th photo pops up is it shows what your life could be like if you aren't taking action. 9 photos of positive, this is what your life will look like because you're taking daily action. This is what your life looks like if you don't. And it's so, like for me as a visual person, I look at that, I'm like, in 10 minutes, there's going to be an image that pops up of me fat and old.
You don't want that.
I don't want that. And so for me, I know the repercussions of not taking action. Whereas other people that are so fearful people that stop and they sit in their tracks, I don't think they understand their own mortality. Like they don't understand how fast life is going by. So like when you start having kids, bro,
goes by fast.
I take one day off from seeing my kids. I see them the next day. I'm like, you're not even the same person.
Yeah, you go back. Phil's going to be, running around like a crazy man.
You're going to be hitting 300-yard drives, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and I'm like, my life, the problem is we don't notice our subtle changes, but we notice changes of others. And so that's really what I'm focusing on this last year is like helping people get to a point where they understand what the hell do you actually want? Because if you understand what you want so clearly, you wake up in the morning, it's all you can think about. And I think even my goals currently are not even clear enough. I would venture to say your goals are not even clear enough.
Not even close.
Not even close, but they're more clear than other people, which is why you have better results. So I would say most of your goals, like mine have been in the last couple of years, are like, I want to do more, be more, have more. Whatever that is. But like, I haven't been specific enough until January. Dude, my life has changed dramatically.
So what did you do? Did you start to do this 10 and 1 thing, or so?
I did the
what was
10 and
big
1 thing.
change?
I actually spent a whole day on my own. Like, I took a day away from the office, and I literally went into, it wasn't a Starbucks, it was like a coffee shop I'd never been to before. New environment, new space. And I took I have a black notebook I carry around with me, and I wrote down every little thing that I want in my life. And I kept going. There was moments where I paused. There's moments where I felt like I got stuck, but I'm like, I'm sticking this 8 hours. I'm going to go all the way through this 8 hours until I fill up as many things as I possibly can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend an hour crafting what the perfect day looks like. Like, I wake up, I don't have a decision to make, I don't have pressure on me, money's coming in, where's that money coming from? Okay, that money's coming from this amount of assets. Those assets on average are spitting out this much money on a daily basis, which allows me to have a team that's this size. Literally draw out my team size, what's their salary, what are their bonuses at the end of the year. Like, I literally drew it all the way out, and all of a sudden it's like, the universe now knows what I want. And the universe is conspiring on my behalf. I start running into opportunities that I didn't have access to because the universe now knows what to put on my For You page. And it's freaking weird.
Yeah, it's weird. When some of this stuff happens, it's just it's really cool, but I don't understand it, so it kind of makes me nervous. But it's still a cool feeling. That's what I need to focus on. Like you, I'm sure my mind's just always all over the place. To just sit there and focus on one thing is so hard for me. I think it's a strength of mine, but I also think it's a liability because I haven't got super clear on what I want in a couple of years.
It's a liability for people. It's a liability for Sam 10 years ago. It's a liability for Sam maybe 5 years ago.
But I haven't been as clear the last couple of years, and they've been way rougher than the years before. So do you think coincidence? I know the market's been harder.
No, I'll tell you, the market definitely has a part to do with it.
But good businesses can thrive in bad markets.
Of course. Yeah, I would say, here's what I would say. Even for us, like everything is down across the board. Like my acquisitions are down, my cash flow is down, my sales on my lending business are down, everything's down.
You went from making $50 million a month to $35 million a month.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't know. I actually don't know the numbers. I don't get obsessed over the numbers. I should a little bit more, but I have good partners that do all that stuff.
I don't know that you should, but yeah.
I get obsessed with like, what is the result I'm looking for? Let me go and apply the thing, right? So one thing that I would say is that I have an operator around me. Her name's Molly. And Molly manages Kelly, who I was texting you with.
Okay.
So Molly understands me. And I imagine maybe there's a woman in the office that understands you too. I hope so. And that woman should go, Sam is by far the greatest asset in this entire building. He's the golden retriever. If this company is going to make more money, he has to go retrieve that gold. And I have to free him up. I have to let him out of the yard. I have to let him go run around and go chase things down. That's his job. Your job is to be the golden retriever. So you being at Masterminds and you learning and you doing those things are a big part of it, but also you being a dreamer is a big part of it too. Like, you imagine if Molly goes, you know, we don't have time for a book. We don't have time for you helping this lady out. We don't have time for you to go create this book launch.
So she let you have the freedom, not that it's your
Not
life.
even let me.
Well, yeah.
She pushes me to.
Yeah, okay.
And she says, your chaos is our greatest gift.
Yeah.
It's just, she goes, it's our job to ride the wake. Your job is to create it. And she's like, the people sitting on shore are upset the water is choppy. Meanwhile, a wakeboarder is praying for a bigger wave, right? So she's like, I'm choosing to be a wakeboarder, and I need you to be the boat. You're the engine. You're the person steering where we're going, and I have faith to know that I can ride the wake and I can create this thing. And so people on the shore are complaining, the water's choppy, and I don't want to jump in. That's the wrong people, and you don't hang out with those people, which is great. So I would say everything's down. Awesome. Perfect. Take some stress off yourself. Now is the time to get ready. What's that phrase? The phrase is, when sailors can't sail, they repair their nets, right? Or when a fisherman can't sail, they repair their nets. Now's the time to repair the nets. Now's the time to get better at everything, like implementing AI, doing this, and instead of worrying about like, I need to hire more people, it's like, well, what if I told that person we need to implement AI instead of hiring the next person? That's what we're doing right now. We're looking at our team and we're like, hey guys, we're not going to hire anybody else this year, but we also don't want to let anybody go. So what do we got to do to amplify our results by using tools that we're not currently using? I want everybody to come home. That's what this is going to look like, blah, 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 blah. And we've got 24 months of this before there's this. And we're okay with that.
Yeah, no, we are, like I said, we are dialed in from our processes to our funnels. that if we had been this a couple years ago, which wouldn't have, you had to go through this to get where you want to go. I don't know very few people, if anybody, that their journey's like this.
No.
We're talking Basil, all of them.
No.
It's up and down, and it's necessary. The other day I was like, I tell my community members, my students, this, like, you can't succeed without failing. It's just not possible. There's no path for you to take and step and walk that doesn't involve you stepping in shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Just don't step there again. So that's what we're going through, just at a different scale.
Yeah, in fact, the bricks that you are walking on are made of shit. Mm-hmm. You have to take the shit that's been laid out in front of you. You got to step in it, harden it, turn it into a brick so you can move forward. Like, that's really what you're telling them. So for you, and I, this is why it's fun to have a friendship and a collaboration. Is like, I can text you, you can text me, and you go, hey, Pace, what are you doing here? Or, hey, what are you doing here? Bro, I'm an open book. Mm-hmm. You want to know why? Because nobody's willing to do the work except for you.
Well, especially I think
I can open source all my shit,
but it doesn't matter because
it
they're
doesn't
not going to.
matter.
And
No.
I remember he had you on the podcast, and you were like, I was like, how'd you grow your brand? And it's obvious you did what people won't do. You're like, I went to 115 meetups this month. I shook 20,000 people's hand. I'm sick all the time but no one's willing to do that. So tell them exactly what you did, but they're just not going to do it.
In fact, when I tell most people what I do, they go, yeah, I ain't doing that.
Well, yeah, they're not going to get to your results then. It's that simple.
And are there more efficient ways I could go about doing things? Yeah, like I'd say over the last year, here's where I'm kind of judging where I'm at. I did the whole fly around the country, do the thing. I still do it. Primarily what I do now is, like, if I'm speaking on Aspire Tour, which I can speak on any one of their stages, I say no during the summertime so I can go to Montana, but I will go only speaking on stages if there's at least a 2,000 person minimum. I just won't do that anymore. Why? Is it because I'm so great and I'm the best speaker on the planet? No. It's just that if I'm going to take time and energy away from my wife and kids, it better be worthy of me stealing that time from them. And it can't be 200 people. Mm-hmm. My wife and kids are more worthy of my time than 200 people are. Mm-hmm. On the same side of things, I can also sit in my underwear and make an Instagram post that gets 200,000 views, and I can get 200 people to DM me. Whereas if I speak on a stage of 200 people, only 40 of them are actually going to like me. Mm-hmm. So I spent time, energy, and effort to go into a place that I spoke on stage and 40 people like me and 20 of them actually DM me. Like, how many leads, how many opportunities am I going to get by being on that stage? Definitely not as many as if I just make it a good post.
Well, you heard it here first. Pace is going to put on his whitey tighties and do an Instagram post for you.
Yeah, I do.
Also.
I mean, I listen, even today.
That'll get 200,000 views, I promise.
I'd probably get at least 20,000 maybe. But that is the thing, is I'm trying to be more efficient with my time and, like, testing things out. And I know you're doing the same thing. And so I go, speaking on stage is definitely a big element of what I need to be doing in order to push my brand forward. Being out there and having other people spend money on my face is a big advantage that I have. Like, I go, I'm going to speak on Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's stage. They're spending $3 million on advertising. My face is on all that stuff. Oh, Aspire spends $500,000 a month. My face is on all of those things. Mm-hmm. So I pick and choose where other people are going to spend money to get my face out there so I can spend less time on the road and ultimately just be better at my, being around my kids and doing the thing, because it's a one-time opportunity. And I'll tell you, like, having more kids has also taken opportunity off my plate in terms of finances. Definitely has taken, like, I've had to say no to things. I'm like, I know I can make $1 million on that. I'm saying no to $1 million because I want to go to my kid's dance recital.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then you start realizing really what real wealth is like, I have the power, and more importantly, I have the excitement that I turned down $1 million that I would have killed for 15 years ago to just go to a dance recital for 45 minutes.
Well, you're prioritizing your priorities.
Right. I'm actually crafting the life I want.
Mm-hmm. And that's wealth, not richness.
Right. That's wealth. Mm-hmm. And I would say, for me personally, I think the biggest thing I'm working on that I definitely lacked on the last 15 years was taking care of my own body.
Okay, yeah, I noticed you've been the mountain. You do that quote. The mountain is yourselves, or what?
Yeah, I say it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves.
That's your quote. What is Cody's? It's choose your heart or whatever.
Yeah, choose your heart.
Yeah, that's
For me, it's like, so the guy that named. So if you look at Mount Everest, which I've been obsessed with Mount Everest for the last.
Are you gonna climb it?
Maybe one day.
Okay.
But I'm obsessed with the fact that it's a 5-year journey, and there's so many analogies. I was talking to Jordan Peterson last year, and then I also interviewed him recently, and he says everything goes in a 5-year stint. you reinvent yourself every 5 years, or the universe is going to reinvent you for you, because the world evolves, relationships around you, your ecosystem changes. So like every 5 years, you're a new person, or the universe is going to make you a new person, for better or worse. And so also the time from somebody saying, I want to climb Mount Everest to the time they get to the summit is 5 years. And so I started looking at these 5-year journeys and what does that look like and the ebbs and flows. And so I have this map of Mount Everest on my wall in my office.
Okay.
And it's detailed. It says every last little detail of the mountain. And so this is interesting. One of the hardest parts of the journey is the freaking hike to base camp is a 12-day foot hike. People are walking for 12 days just to get to base camp. 12 days.
No, thank you. That can be your dream. That's your journey.
Then you have to stay at base camp for 3 to 4 months
To get like
acclimated. You have to go up through the Khumbu Icefall, which is the most dangerous part. You have to go up through it to base camp number 2 and back multiple times to get your acclimation up to a point where you could get to base camp number 2. Khumbu Icefall is the most dangerous part of the entire
and you
mountain.
have to do it several times.
Over months.
Don't do this, Paces. That'll be worried.
I know, but it's crazy. But like, think about the parallels you can tie in your own personal life, right? Like getting your first deal is actually by far the hardest part.
Yeah.
Then you start getting to the point where you're doing deals and you have to get acclimated to this is where you are. Like you've made it to base camp. You're now going up the Khumbu Icefall back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You've done 11 deals so far this year. You're in that phase. Then you get to base camp number 2 and you start looking upwards. And anyway, one of the last sections of the Mount Everest is called the Hillary Steps. It's where a lot of people die because it gets so crowded, right? And so the guy who the Hillary Steps were named after, he says, it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. And that's it. He wrote this whole entire book talking about like, you think it's about the mountain. It's literally a whole entire journey of self-discovery. And I fell in love with that. So I go, all right, I'm talking to Chase Hughes, psychologist, and he says, the reason why you are not working out as heavy as you want to be and you're not putting on the weight you want to is because your intention is wrong. What do you mean? What do you think my intention is? He says your intention is to have 6-pack abs and this, that, and the other and be chiseled and look like freaking Brad Pitt in 2 weeks. That's your intention. What if your intention was literally just to go into the gym and listen to a podcast and just try some things out and like not have any expectation? I go, all right, I'll try that. So I tried that. And then like a week later, he goes, change your intention now to like create one circuit you could do that you actually enjoy doing. Here, I'll give you a suggestion. So I do this circuit, and he goes, now your intention is to raise the weights on that whole circuit by 5 pounds in the next 2 weeks. Don't worry about your physical results. Don't worry about your diet. Don't worry about anything else. Your only intention is to take the circuit you already know and try and raise every single exercise 5 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. And I got into this rhythm of just the intention is just to raise my.
Well, it's that micro intentionality that like you're just shooting for something that's
it's
gonna
not
happen.
overwhelming myself. Jim Quick says inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going inch by inch. And there's a guy that comes in the gym a couple weeks ago and he's like, Pace, hey, big fan, sub 2, amazing what you did. I just want to let you know that you don't have to keep doing this machine. There's other things over here. And I was like, I'm on my own journey, bro. Love you, fist bump. You go do that thing. I've got an intention here that has nothing to do with anything that you think it's about. He's like, damn. All right, so I should leave you alone. I go, no, I'm just doing my thing. And I think that's another hard thing for new real estate investors is they think the intention is, I need to be a millionaire tomorrow.
By buying rentals with the burrs. Yeah,
Right.
that's how that's gonna go
or
for
even
you.
sub 2. Like
Yeah.
I have a lot of sub 2 houses that I bought. They didn't cash flow more than a couple $100. They didn't change my life. But then when I went and sold them 4 years later, they had $300,000 in equity. I'm rolling into something bigger. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, you just got to do it one step at a time because we realize this. You're not going to replace your W-2 income buying rentals. I don't care how you do it. You either don't have enough money to put enough down or you're just doing it creatively with the burrs or sub 2.
Even then, I think it just takes a while. And I think also for the first little while as well is that your income raises because you have, let's say, a couple $1,000s coming in. Your living expenses then match that and you're back right where you were. And so you've got to get your rentals to a point to where they're growing and you get a couple $1 million, you roll into something bigger or whatever it is, or pay some of them down. You can definitely, here's what I would look at. You could definitely quit by having 5-7 rentals, but also doing 2 flips a year.
Yeah, that's the whole thing we're trying to do now is you got to get active. Rentals is passive.
Yes.
It's active income with passive results, but you got to get that active income up with flips and wholesales.
Finding deals for somebody else or doing flips with somebody else or, getting, like I would say, you're probably ready in the next 6 months to be like, I'm going to go buy a 15-unit apartment building, or I'm going to go buy a 25-pad RV park. An RV park is so low management. Like my average RV park takes home $11,000 a month. Takes home after every single thing. Net. Which we should only have to say net, but these stupid commercial people are like, oh, NOI. It's like net operating income is not net operating income. It's called gross income before I pay the bank, you knucklehead.
Yes.
Stop calling it NOI.
I always say net because nobody ever talks in net.
Yeah, it's net. So like $11,000. So it's like, how many people in America could quit their job if they just had one RV park?
90%.
Yeah, 90%. So, but what are they not ready for? That they're not acclimated. That's why like that journey to base camp and what you're going through right now, base camp through the Khumbu Icefall is so critical because you're acclimating yourself to the terminology and the people and the resources and money coming in and out of your account, having days where you have no money and then having days where you're like, I have $80,000. That's acclimating. Mm-hmm. It's just the same exact journey. And so you get to an RV, it's like people go, I just want to get to an RV park. It's like, one does not just summit Mount Everest.
You die.
I could put you on the peak right now. How are you getting down? That also is a scary thing too, is like, let's say you accumulate all your rentals that you're doing, all these deals you're doing. You get to the top of the mountain. We had Stacey Allison. She was the first female to climb Mount Everest. We had her at Squat Up Summit. You can tell I'm obviously obsessed with Mount Everest. So first female ever summited Mount Everest. I said, what was the hardest part of it? She said, yeah, Mr. Hillary, he was right about the beginning stages, right? The mindset and the this and the other. She's like, nobody prepares you for coming down the mountain. Now you've accomplished it. She's like, so with real estate, you go build this entire portfolio, you got this big machine, but like, how do you come down from that? How do you get to a point where you literally don't have to worry about anything ever again? What does that look like? And so I'm probably 5 to 7 years away from thinking about coming down from the mountain. Right now, I'm just trying to get as many people to the summit with me. Mm-hmm. Same thing with you. You're doing the same thing. But there will come a point in Sam's life where he goes, I want to come down from this mountain and I want to write books about this mountain. I want to do this, this, and this, and I want to create even more impact, but I can't create impact by being in the business, right? I got to do certain things. So it's also just fun, dude.
Yeah.
Texting my wife on the flight here, just going, I'm so lucky I found you, the woman who believes in these crazy man's dreams. I'm so lucky we got healthy kids. I got a brother that has 2 nonverbal children. Like, bro, I won the lottery. And I would say, how dare you and how dare me not make something of our lives when we were born on third base? Like, there's people that won't even get an at bat. I was born on third base. I didn't have to swing.
Yeah, you owe it to yourself and your family, but you owe it to those other people to make something of yourself.
You imagine
those people that will never have internet access in their life. There's millions, billions of them.
Or people that grew up in a family where their father beat their mom or their mom died of childbirth giving birth to them. Like, I don't have any of those problems. My parents are still together. They had 12 kids. They taught us work ethic. I had God in our home. Whether that's good or bad or indifferent to some people, it at least is a North Star to follow versus people that have never had any values instilled in their life. Later in life, they're 45 years old going, what is life all about? I already know what life is about. Now I just got to go as fast as I possibly can to accomplish it. And same thing with you. Like, we are so freaking lucky. How dare you and I sit idle and not help 1,000 freaking people every single month?
We owe it to ourselves, them, and the people that didn't even have that opportunity.
Yeah, and for me too, like why a friendship with you is so meaningful to me is there are so few people that actually care about making impact. They think the recipe is income. I make a ton of money, then I can have influence, then I can create impact, right? So the 3 I's are out of order. For me, it's I make impact first. Then I have the ability to create influence through my impact. Then the income starts trickling in.
And that income's way, way, way more if you do it that way.
And anytime that I have a lack of income, I always go back to the front and I go, I'm not creating any value. I'm not creating impact. I'm running after income. Income is inevitable.
It's like a check on yourself.
It's like yes, it's a self-check. It's the same thing with my team on social media. It's like, hey guys, you're not getting people to show up to the thing you want them to. Let's go back to the front. You are not creating any value. You're not building trust. You're not building rapport. You do not deserve to even promote. So when you just go to promote, nobody shows up. It's because you put the eyes in the wrong places. And so there's 3 people in my life that are like you, have done the thing, want to impact people. Jerry Norton, Jamil Damji, Sam Prim.
Appreciate that.
Everybody else is full of shit.
He's calling you out, by the way.
I mean, they wouldn't have watched all the way to this point.
No,
no influencer would have ever gotten to this point.
No, they just watched the beginning and see what we're talking about and be gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting. Like I would say for people, I know we've been on here long. I don't know how long we've been on here, but
I have no idea.
What time's the meetup?
Your boys text us. Jamil says he'll be here in a little bit. Meetup's in. We gotta probably leave here in like 45 minutes. So
okay, cool. So it's later. All right, cool. So I would say the most important thing in my life by a long shot. Nothing even like let's remove my wife and my kids from the equation. Let's remove God from the equation. By far, not even I wouldn't even see that there's a distant second. The most important thing that's happened in my life that has allowed me to get from stage to stage to phase to whatever it is, has been literally where I allocate my time in terms of people I surround myself with. And it's so cliche, so stupid. I've got a video editor on my team. His name's Jose. He's 38 years old. Yeah, man, I want to get married someday. I'm like, bro, you're 38. Like, your children want to have a relationship with you when you're healthy and young, not when you're 72 years old. Like, I don't know what you're thinking life is about. Well, man, I'm just having so much fun with all these girls I'm messing around with and all these guys I go to the lake with. I'm like, Jose, you edit every one of my YouTube videos. Not everyone. We have 4 editors, but they're all sitting around each other. You see all these videos. In fact, when you have a question about a video so you can edit it properly, I sit down with you and give you 45 minutes explaining that strategy so you can understand it properly enough to edit. Why aren't you going out and doing these deals yourself? Man, to be honest with you, I just enjoy the lake. Okay, cool, but you've been telling me every week, Pace, how do I get a deal? Pace, how do I get a deal? Pace, how do I get a deal? I go, he goes, can you just give me step number 1? Yes, fire your friends.
Yeah.
He goes, but they're good people. I go, did I say they're bad people? No, but the universe is going to continue to deliver the exact results to you because you have shown the universe that's what you want.
That's with your actions.
You are hanging out with knuckleheads that are smoking, drinking, doing this, that, and the other. When he makes comments about wanting to get into real estate, they all attack him. Oh, you're going to be an influencer? Like, bro, so you're 38 years old. You happy with life? No, I'm not, Pace. Okay, cool. So you can do something about it. But by far, Jose, the number one thing is find better people. I go, it's not access to information, because if it was access to information, we'd all be billionaires because ChatGPT, Grok, and all these things are out. And there's AI tools that I don't even know about now that are killing the game. But this is why a community is so important. It's why when people join your community, they meet other people that help them more than you ever did.
100%.
And that was the secret I created of like, okay, well, I realized when I jumped into the game, the thing that helped me was not a book, a thing, a this, that, and the other. The book gave me permission to go pursue it. But when I actually applied myself, I got lost very quickly. I needed somebody to grab me by the hand. A book's not going to grab my hand. A video's not going to grab my hand. A course isn't going to grab my hand. AI's not going to grab my hand.
A person.
I need a physical person.
Yeah.
And so for those of you guys that are out there going, well, what do I do? Like, how can I? I'm a fly on the wall with a successful real estate investor, I'm like a fly on the wall in this conversation. Imagine we're having sushi and you're hanging out and you're listening to this conversation and you could go, but what do I do? How do I get to be one of you guys? I'd say join Sam Prim's community and like collaborate with people that are doing deals. That by far, not I would say, that is it. By far, the number one thing you could do is invest. How many people have you met in your life that have gone a 4-year college, 2 more years, get a master's degree, go get an engineer, become an engineer, work their way up as an engineer to get to $150,000 a year just to go, I just spent 14 years of my life to get to a point where I hate my freaking situation. And then when they come to join your community, whatever the cost is, it's like, wait, nah, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. No, I don't know. I'll just go try it on my own.
I'll go try it on my own. Perfect. So you figure out how to become an engineer on your own, huh? Like you didn't have to get oriented, or you didn't have somebody come and show you how to do your thing, or what's it like around here. It is literally The one advantage that you and I have in the influence or education space is that we don't rely on education. Of course, we have world-class education. We built an ecosystem of people helping people. And for me, if I could have gone back to 12 years ago when I got my first deal, I would have just been like, burn all the books, delete all the apps, and go find the people that are doing deals and go, how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Can I call your leads?
Being around the right people.
Can I just go on a ride along with you? Can I hear the conversations you're having? Can I feel the vibration of who you are? Even that, like being in this room, watching this conversation will change you for the rest of your life. When I met people that were bigger than me and doing bigger things than me and just listening to their conversation, I'm like, I'm not thinking big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. And then you start getting internally about the problems you have. You go, okay, I'm going to go fix them, right? It's really cool having good quality people around you. So go join this guy's community.
I like it. All right, what I'm going to do is I got to pee really bad. Gino, ask him one question while I pee.
I'm going to pee.
All right, we're both going to pee. All right, thanks for coming.